2025. What's the goal for this year, Luke? Cracking up, away from cracking up.
Away from cracking up to
Just in general, Matt.
traveling, I think.
Yeah.
Traveling and grafting, getting on with the podcast. And, well, besides the podcast, we lost to traveling. I know you've got your holidays coming up, haven't you?
Yeah. Going away skiing for a week. Other bits and bobs planned. Nothing kind of... A couple of bits set in stone and other things, just... we're young enough that we can just... The beauty of being young enough is we can just book things, just impulse. Impulse book things. And
Yeah, you don't have bloody, you're not exactly paying for a mortgage and bloody bills and all that, and 3 kids, have you? So we can, fortunately, be in a position to go traveling.
Yeah.
Going skiing for how long? 2 weeks?
No, just a week.
Just a week.
Just a week, yeah. Just the one. I think, personally, any longer than 7 days and your knees would literally implode. Yeah.
I've never done it.
Until you've... I mean, I've only been the once abroad. It's been my second time, but yeah, once you've been it just, imploded in the knees once you get to the last day. And also, to be honest, once you get to your last day, you paid however much money to go skiing, and then you get to the end and you think, do I really want to go skiing, or do I just go to the top of the slopes for a piss up? But no, it's good. And it's interesting because you're obviously going away in February, aren't you? And
yes.
When you said to me, I went into River Island and I was seeing all these holiday clothes, and I said to Luke, oh, look at this, big old sale on. And then you said, oh, I've got plenty of holidays booked. And you said, this in February, this in this time. I was like, well, none of those you're going to need a linen shirt for.
Yeah. It's like one holiday is going to be like a fucking sunny holiday if you have it that. And that's Greece, isn't it? In August, which is going to be like sweltering hot. I suppose last year I went right through Italy, didn't I? So I did like fucking 50,000 steps in Rome in a day. I did everything in Rome you can do in a day in 40-degree heat.
Yeah. I remember the first time.
Unheard of.
I remember first time you map someone app, obviously, and then me on the first time, and this is, and you running about like
my phone was absolutely like, there was steam coming off it, mate. It was red hot. But I recommend it to anyone. But I'd definitely go back to Rome just to like chill, do it chilled.
Yeah. Well, you said that. I remember you said obviously because you'd planned it the way you did, it was like a bit of a whistle stop tour, wasn't it? Like, personally, would you have said that you would have preferred to stay in some places longer than you did, and others are?
Yeah, I wish I did 4 nights in Rome and not 4 nights in Milan. I wouldn't recommend Milan to a homeless person.
Really? That bad life?
Fucking just shit. Unless you've got £1 million to spend and you don't know what to spend it on. Yeah.
Well, you said about the empty suitcase as well. I can imagine if you took an empty suitcase. Was that Rome?
No, that was Milan. Take an empty suitcase and 20 kg.
And 20 grand.
Yeah, 200 grand.
Yeah.
You'd probably fill half of it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the design capital. I went and it was like the bloody fashion show. There was like a couple of TikToks I walked past who I knew. Well, I'm not one of them to like, I hate TikTok. Maybe if it's fucking Maldini, then fair play. But it's that English guy dresses like he had loads of tattoos and his son does it. He does that all like click and clap thing. I found his TikTok eventually. But like, I'm stood there watching, I think, like Switzerland, France. I was to England in the Euro because the Euros was on. And him and his mates just walk like into the bar, and it's like a small bar in like down a back street. Like
they are like that though, yeah.
And they're all in like fucking long coats and that. Like, I'm not even taking the mic. Long shirts, long coats. I'm telling you, everyone else is in shorts and t-shirt, sweating
in shorts and t-shirt, and also
35 degrees, middle of June, like start to middle of June, right when the Euro starts. So we're about 16th of June, I reckon. Honest to God, and you're thinking, you're absolutely sweating, mate. They're going to this, like, it was like the fashion gala thing.
Yeah.
It's like you were going to absolutely stink the spot up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost the definition of a run about when you go for the grind. They're solely wearing that just solely for the grind. Like, there's not a chance that they're comfortable in that.
Yeah, like, do you get ready with me and then just fucking change into some shorts and t-shirt for your TikTok, man?
I love flannel one, but
no one's going to be like, why are you in shorts and t-shirt to this? But if you're in that and you're in the long shit and it's 35 degrees, that's when they're going to go, what the fuck are you wearing?
Yeah, especially the long jackets. I can imagine the linen pants and shirts and that sometimes baggy or longer things actually won't keep you cool. I couldn't believe it, but then you fire on a pair of linen pants and actually you realise...
I do like a pair of linen pants, to be fair.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't
No,
think of it.
no, Italy. Going back to Rome, it's
Yeah,
like I'd wish I did 4 nights in Rome because obviously I averaged for a week, like 10 days that I did. I averaged like 35k steps a day.
that's mental.
Absolutely crazy. It's insane. Absolutely insane. But no, it's good. I'm going away this year. Me and my pal are going to Munich for the Munich Memorial for United.
That'll be good.
On in February, and then on to Vienna and Bratislava from there. So that should be all right. Be interesting.
Well, I remember new messages about it, just countries that, you wouldn't go with your family on an all-inclusive holiday, would you? So
Yeah,
it's
you're not
just one of
going.
those.
I told our kids. I know we did Cyprus last year. We're doing Bratislava away this year.
Yeah. Well, literally, you wouldn't, would you?
Like, because we were saying about doing like splitting Dubrovnik and
Yeah.
like
I will
Bosnia
have
and
to.
Serbia, and it's like genuinely, like, what the fuck goes on in Bosnia? No absolutely zero
Well,
disrespect because it's that far away from us.
yeah,
Zero
no, exactly.
disrespect, but like, what happened in Bosnia?
Well, that's just got to be, when we go, be cultured
Find
enough
out,
to
yeah.
find out, won't we? But it is one of those, isn't it? 100% it's one of those where you go somewhere and you've got to kind of discover the cultures and things like that. But I can't imagine, and remember you even said, like, imagine my mum's gone to Sainsbury's or something and she just like bumps into somebody. Oh, so what's Finn doing nowadays? Ah, well, him and his mate run a podcast together. Well, they're just in Bosnia today. It's like, what?
Hey, it's
Literally.
crazy.
It is mental.
Like, I'm gonna be there, and it's gonna be like me. Yeah, he's in Bratislava today.
Yeah.
One, where's Bratislava? It's in Slovakia.
Yeah.
But it's like, two, what the fuck's he doing in Slovakia?
Well, yeah. And it's not, and also, it's not one of those ones that it's like the classic Euro traveling either. I wouldn't have said. Like, it's not one of those,
No,
like,
it's not somewhere you travel to.
no, it's not
No,
like
no,
the
no, no.
classic. It's like going to, goodness knows where, oh, I'm just going to, I don't even know, Pakistan or something. You're just not,
Yeah,
you
you're
just
not.
don't, are you? Or like
No, that's what
Kazakhstan. You
that's
don't
the
go to
way.
Kazakhstan on holiday, do you?
Yeah, that's why
Imagine.
you load up YouTube and hashtag Brady's just dossing about on the
Yeah.
live there. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones that like
Yeah.
speeds there.
Yeah.
And it sounds mental, but it is because they just really travel the world and film it.
I'd love to, yeah, going back to just the traveling kind of this 2025, I would definitely like to become more cultured in the way that, we talk about these places, but to go to the niche places. Lucky enough, obviously, to go on holiday pretty much once a year since I was quite young, and have been to Spain, like your classics, Spain, Cyprus,
Yeah, yeah.
Turkey, a lot. But, it would be good if we do get to go your Croatias,
No, I just
your
think
Slovakia,
it's
the
just
rest.
solo trips are something else, man. Like, it's all right traveling with someone else, but the great thing about solo traveling is, like I did, if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do
Yeah,
it. That is the
yeah,
fucking the best thing ever.
yeah,
What is it called in Rome? The Vatican. The
yeah,
Vatican is about
Vatican,
it.
yeah,
It was pissing down rain. The queue was a mile long. Bear in mind, I'd got up early to go to the
yeah.
Vatican. I was like, I'm not queuing in that, and I'm not waiting in the rain. One, I don't have an umbrella. I'm in shorts and t-shirt because it's still red
And
hot,
am I that bothered?
and I'm at that arsed.
Yeah,
No, it's amazing. But one, you can't take photos in there
yeah,
because it's that religious, and two, I'm not queuing that much, paying that much
yeah,
just to walk around the
mm,
building just to say I've been. I've
yeah,
been.
yeah,
I've seen it. Took a couple of pictures for people back home.
yeah.
I'm off.
I
I'm going
found
to the
that
next
in,
spot.
yeah,
I'm
I
going to
found
the
that in
Pantheon.
Paris. Me and my partner went to Paris, and we went with my family as well, and she came with us. But one of the days we kind of just wandered off from the rest. And again, you can be a bit more selfish because there's just two of you. There's not six. There's two. And I've said to you before, it's so empowering as well. I remember going to Newcastle one day, just by myself. I don't know, Newcastle's no Italy, like,
Yeah.
but you go and it's like, where do I want to eat? Where do I want to shop? Where do I want to do this and that? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, get in, you feel empowered, A, because you're
Yeah.
by yourself, and B, I think it's a bit mystery. I've had a couple of people before. I've been for food by myself, and the waiter's looking at you a couple of times, thinking, "Oh, what's his story?" I think,
Yeah.
there is definitely a bit of that.
That's it. The great thing is, though, you don't have a missus or your mum or your grandma or your sister dragging you
Oh,
around fucking
oh
Primark
yeah,
or
you can,
H&M.
yeah.
Next. Oh, we're going in Next. Brilliant. What goes on in Next? Nothing.
New looks a lot like.
New Look. Yeah, New Look's
Oh,
another
he's
one.
always
Oh, man.
sweating as well.
Yeah, and it's red hot every time, and you just know it's going to be filled with people, and it's just filled with people. It's
The wrong
packed.
people.
No, I don't want to say wrong people.
Do
It's
you
just
think?
packed. It's
Yeah.
just packed, and there's loads of different people mingling, and it's like,
Not my cup of tea.
no. But the thing, went to Italy, and like, you almost, it's the weirdest feeling in the world going, I just tell one place, Matt.
Yeah,
She's
that's
not.
yeah, no, crazy.
Yeah, well,
Are you waiting on somebody? No, no, just me, mate.
just
That's all.
tale for one. But I'm
Mm.
very like, I won't go in a restaurant, like, because a lot of restaurants in Italy in the summer, they're all outside. Obviously inside, but all the outside gets used first. I'm very keen on having my back to the wall,
Yeah.
seeing everything going on. It's very, very like
No,
Secret
you've
Service
always said yeah,
kind of thing. And if there wasn't, I'm not going to the restaurant.
yeah,
And also, there's some people say if they have the menu outside of a restaurant, it's tourist food and it's not proper, like Italian.
yeah.
Whereas I went into a few that had the menu out and didn't have the menu, and it was equally as good.
Right.
Like it didn't really make a difference.
I suppose maybe what they're saying is it's not the authentic Italian. It's going to taste similar because it's going to be made in the same way. But yeah, it's weird actually. The only thing I would say, going back to kind of the closest thing to Rome and things, is when I went to Paris, and they do have that. In fact, they have the menu, and it's a proper sign of tourist. They have a menu. There's an English version, a French version, a Spanish
A
version,
German
a
version,
German
yeah,
version,
full
and actually, in fact, one of the places we went, which was super quick, we just wanted some food. Little QR code translates the menu for you, and that you're thinking, right, okay, fair enough. But
yeah.
yeah, there's definitely probably a little bit of that. But when you're by yourself, you can do what you want when you want, can't you? And you don't have to.
That's a good thing. Like literally every morning in Milan, you almost get in a little routine because my Airbnb was stupidly. This is another travel tip I'll give that I told my mate that we were doing when we go to Munich
Yeah,
and whatnot. So you might find an Airbnb or a hotel or something or a hostel, which is like 30 to 50 quid, right? And then the hotel or something like that's like 80, right?
mm,
When you look, the hostel or something like that is about 45 minutes from the centre of
yeah,
wherever you're
yeah. Well,
going.
we said this
The
in Amsterdam.
hotel's in the centre. Is you're better off paying the extra 30 there and then. Otherwise, you just end up paying 4 nights in Milan.
Yeah,
A couple of days I walked, but that evening
I've on
walk,
Amsterdam now.
50 minutes, it's the scare. As soon as you get
Yeah,
out with the street light, Milan is it's the scariest place I've ever been.
yeah. I remember
Like
you saying.
I quite think I'm quite streetwise and whatnot. Doesn't matter if if you're Bruce Lee
Yeah,
or you're Eddie Hall
yeah,
walking
yeah,
down them streets, them long streets on your own. You've got people like stood on the walls and that with the feet like looking about,
yeah.
backpacks on, scooters kicking about, and it's like this is
Mm.
stupidly scary.
I
Like
remember you saying as soon as you got back. And I mean, going back to the thing about where the location of the hotel.
yeah,
Well, we had that in Amsterdam, I found personally. I mean, I think we were a little bit silly because we would get up in the morning, get an Uber in, get an Uber back, get changed, get an Uber in, and then get an Uber back. And I mean, between the lot of us,
to be
like,
fair, with 4 years it's all right because you
yeah,
split
you
four
can
ways, it
split
ends up
it.
being like 6, 7 quid.
Yeah, but
Whereas if you're
still,
on your own,
oh mate,
all of a sudden you're fair whack down.
well, you'd be
Well,
four,
it's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
400 quid.
So my tip would be, in short, book the extra, just spend the extra
Yeah,
30 quid when you're booking it, because you'll end up paying that, or if not double or triple, in bloody
mm,
Ubers, taxis,
yeah, on the rest.
whatever else, and the rest, just getting back to your hotel. And then if the weather's shit, you don't know what the weather's going to be like.
Yeah,
It's not England shit for weather, but you can kind of tell what days are going to be good and what days are going to be bad.
so you can't just, yeah, as much as you have the weather app, it's not predictable, is it?
No, absolutely not. But
No.
that's definitely a travel tip. I can't remember what I was actually speaking about before I give the travel tip. But
Just be honest to do what you want, and you got up in the morning.
I get up in the morning. I used to I got up, walk like 45 minutes, because to be fair, it was sunshine. So once you
Yeah,
kind of got on the straight, I'm kind of like picturing now where I walked. You were all right. Like it's straight. It's daylight. Usually broad daylight. No one's gonna fucking rob you in broad daylight.
well, you'd
Quite
hope not.
cracked. You know what I mean? And then you carry on going, and I used to just go to the Mackey's. Mackey's breakfast in Italy is the best McCafe in the world.
Yeah, I
I will
remember you
stand
saying.
on this. I got like massive croissants, but it's like a smaller Mackey's. If you get the
Yeah,
mainstream Mackey's in the middle of Milan,
yeah, yeah,
fortune. But it was like €1 for a massive croissant, €1.20 for like a chocolate Nutella croissant.
yeah,
And then I got like a large cheeseburger, which is the weirdest breakfast ever, and a bottle of water,
yeah,
and that was it. But
yeah,
I was every single day. You should really drink a lot of water, but when you're walking around all the time, you need a piss.
yeah.
And I didn't have a lot of change on me 'cause I didn't get any euros out before I went. It's the
Ah,
stupidest thing ever. So I didn't have
I'd
any
often know you
change.
were. Yeah,
So everything just tap, tap, tap. You just tap away. And the amount of time that I have to go in Mackey's, pay for something, because all the toilets in Mackey's have all got, you have to pay for something to get a code to use the toilets. Um, it is quite smart because it just stops people going in, just use
yeah.
the
Just
toilet
like
and fucking
They
off.
probably know straight away that people are walking about. You have to pay for the public toilets. We think
Yeah. So I just go in, buy a bottle of water, go to the toilet,
down
drink
the
a bit.
what? Yeah,
Not even down the water. Just save it, put it in the old pocket or in my little bag.
yeah. No, it's a good shout. The other thing I was going to say about like the distances walking, because obviously I've just got back from Dublin about 4 days ago, and that is one city where, because of how central everything was, it was quite good because you could just walk about, look at different bits and bobs, walk
Yeah.
there, walk back. And actually, something quite interesting was there's like the body of water, I don't want to say canal, river, body of water down the middle of Dublin, and the roads are kind of one way either side. So to get for a taxi to do it, it's got to go down, all the way down one way, cross a bridge, and come all the way back down the other way.
All
And
right.
it's obviously designed for pedestrians. For every one bridge for cars, there's like 4 or 5 ones for pedestrians. So we were looking at walking, and it's like 6 minute walk, 27-minute drive. You're like, what? It is mental. Like, about some cities are designed just for pedestrians and tourists.
Yeah.
And then, but the taxi drivers must have been fuming because you've seen them all queued up, and you're thinking, what?
Yeah.
Apart from the airport, you didn't even use it, I don't think.
I think one of the best things that I learned by accident was me and my dad went to Prague in March for 3 nights,
Yeah,
but our hotel was a little bit further out. But we walked into the city centre. Obviously, when there's two of yous, you feel a little bit
yeah,
safer.
of
So
course.
you do the walk over the. So, anyways, we walked in and Prague. I went to 7 cities in Italy on my own. I went to Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Travelled fair bit last year, to be fair, fortunately, and I'm grateful for that. But the prettiest city I went to, probably the best city, was Prague,
yeah,
simply because the architecture is absolutely beautiful.
yeah,
And I mean, it's such a walkable city. And I feel like if I did Amsterdam or somewhere like that before, if I did it the other way around,
yeah,
I wouldn't have walked everywhere in Italy. I'd have Ubered to where I wanted to go. Whereas
right,
because I walked in Prague so far, you go down a different street every time because you kind of get your bearings. Some cities you can grab your bearings quite
yeah, yeah,
quickly. So I was able to just know, nah, if I just do the half an hour walk here, I'm probably going to see some bits and then you end up stopping. You're like, oh, what's that?
yeah,
What's
yeah.
that? What's that?
That's the beauty as well about
There's over 150 or something stupid churches there's in the whole of Rome.
right,
And I'm talking like monasteries and all sorts, like absolute
and you just stumble
beautiful,
across.
beautiful buildings.
Yeah,
You walk past and it's like to check them
yeah,
all off. It takes like however long. It's like
yeah,
working
yeah,
fucking Wainwrights.
yeah, yeah.
And it sounds mental, but it's a capital
No,
city.
100%. I think I underestimated that with the couple of cities, obviously Paris, Dublin, again more recently, banging on about it, but like how big capital cities are and how much they cram into one place as well. Like you
Yeah.
say, you're just walking and you stumble across that, you're like, oh, what's that? And then you get like, a couple of tourists and like big old Canon G7Xs, proper big old cameras. A lot of the time they've came for how many months or whatever, and they'll do a tour. A lot of cruises as well, I found as well.
Mm.
If you're on like a coastal city, just jump off the cruise. I think I even found that in Liverpool actually, weirdly enough.
It's
But
basically ports, isn't it?
yeah,
Big
because they just
ports.
stop off. But yeah, it is weird capital cities and how they cram how much into one space, and you can get a lot done in a short period of time. But
No, definitely. I don't, the thing is, obviously, weirdly enough, I've seen one of the seven wonders of the world now because I've
yeah,
seen the Colosseum. I didn't go in the Colosseum. And then
mm,
people I'd met in Rome and I spoke to later on said, no, it's shit. It stinks. Like, it
yeah,
stinks.
yeah,
It's shit. So I can just say I've seen it. Like, I was around it for like probably about an hour. Like, I was sat and like,
mm.
weirdly enough, I told myself, as cringy as it sounds, like sit and actually just embrace and live in the moment almost
Oh, 100%.
because there's not many times where you get to be in Italy on your own,
Yeah,
just dossing. It was literally just a doss.
yeah,
I was just dossing about, and
yeah,
that's all it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't exactly. It's not like I had an itinerary, but I was just dossing around most days.
yeah.
The most expensive thing is with traveling,
The
if you
food.
do, is food, and
Yeah,
I did it backwards because to do it cheap, you get hostels and you go out to a supermarket, you buy your own food. But I was very much like, I got there and after probably the second day, I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm on holiday.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
was fortunate enough to be in the position where I could afford to eat out every day.
Yeah,
So all of a sudden, you got your breakfast. There
yeah,
you go. That's five. You probably can cut back on your breakfast.
yeah,
and then you go for your meal. Oh, I'll have a pizza. You have a
Yeah.
pizza, and
Mm.
but there's Scudetto.
When
I
in
can't remember
Rome,
what
eh?
it's called. Is it Scudetto or something like that? Please correct me, but it's a tax. Like you get a tax for your water and your like
Oh,
forks and your
yeah,
spoon
yeah.
and
So
that, and
it's
a
like a
genuine
service.
thing.
Yeah,
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 service tax in
yeah,
Italy everywhere.
yeah,
They're not your tourists, so they put the price up. I'm
yeah.
not even taking the
No,
piss.
of course you do.
Um,
Water, especially, like, is in my mum and dad went on their honeymoon there, and actually they said that for the Italian locals, a thing of water, or just complimentary at the table. Next thing you know, is like a jug of water for
yeah.
tourists, and it's like, oh, you know, €5 or whatever. So
Oh, yeah, it was the exact same. So then all of a sudden, I've paid €3 before I've sat down. I've got a drink, but the
yeah,
time it so you get your drink, and it takes really long to get your food. So you've drank your drink, then you need
yeah,
another one because it's
yeah,
absolutely
exactly.
sweltering in summer. You're sat in the heat,
Hmm.
so then all of a sudden you've ordered 2 drinks. You got your thing, your meal. All
Soft
of a
drinks
sudden,
expensive and all.
€25. You think
Yeah.
for 10 days?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do the math. It's €250
Just on, yeah.
just on your lunch, and then you got your dinner, your evening
Oh, which is,
meal.
yeah, exactly.
And if
Which
you
is,
haven't eaten from dinner time, you're probably hungry.
or if you've cut back on your lunch and your breakfast, you want to go on somewhere.
Starving, yeah.
Definitely when you're on holiday, even more so. And again, lucky enough to be in a position where you go
Yeah.
and you can go for dinner and you can, you can go a little bit more extravagant. You can say, oh, well, we're in Paris, oh, we're in Rome, all right, okay, we're in the capital, we'll go there, we'll go here, we'll go there. And actually, I was going to touch on it before, is when I was in Dublin, a bit of an interesting thing actually was some of the restaurants that we ate in were like international. So
Mm.
they were obviously a chain, and a lot of them were American. So therefore, when we sat down and ordered an alcoholic drink, they wouldn't serve you unless you were 21. And I thought that was really weird, and I was going to tell you about it,
Alright.
obviously off
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 camera.
off
No,
camera,
that's
if you like,
really
but
weird. I've never heard that.
yeah. So, but I'd heard about it actually, about clubs and things in Dublin.
Yes, actually, I
Like
tell a
if you
lie, I
go,
did know
it's
that.
like 21 only, but it wasn't that. It wasn't clubs. It was like you sat down at 4 o'clock, or 6, and you sat down for your food, and you ordered this and this. Oh, can I have a whatever? And they were like, oh, are you 21? I was like, oh no, I'm 18 and she's 19. Oh, and then, oh, sorry, it's 21 here because we're like this and this, and then they rhyme off these people. I think I was like, really? And at this point, you've had a couple already, a couple of Guinnesses or whatever, and you say, oh, I'll have something different, and like, not even a chance. I was like,
Yeah.
not even a limoncello spritz, not even a little, nothing. But I thought it was a bit
Yeah.
weird.
I think when you talk about like over 21 stuff, I think we did Amsterdam wrong in that way in terms
Yeah,
of going out
yeah, I know.
because I tell you what we did, sat on Google trying to find the best places. Realistically,
Exactly
we
what
should
happened.
just fucking I think it's actually your dad who was saying this to me once, like dropping me off.
Yeah,
And he said, you'll find your best night out is your first night because you don't know where you're
yeah,
going.
yeah,
Because then
yeah,
you
yeah.
just start going, you just go into different places. Whereas when our parents were younger, there was no Google. You didn't Google where
Oh,
was the best
exactly. That's it.
review or where was the
Yeah,
busiest. Just walk in. And if it's
yeah.
shit, you have one and you fuck
Ah,
off.
well,
And then your
Temple
next
Bar is
one.
a prime example of that. I'm sorry, right, but I went in there, absolutely extortionate, heaving with tourists. Everyone's wanting photos outside. And no, but you're absolutely right, because if you stumbled across it, it'd be like, whoa, this is class. But because it's like on TikTok,
No.
every single thing you go into Dublin, oh, have you been to Temple Bar? Yes, okay, I got one Guinness. All right, yeah, it was €19. Okay, right. It's like brilliant, but you're absolutely right, because the best night we've even had is where you go to a city or whatever, you go on a night out, and you have no idea where you're going, so you just
Yeah.
follow the crowd a little bit, but you're not on Google, and they are the best
You
ones,
just
aren't you?
rock up.
And where you just go with the flow. You might start at like somewhere for a couple of fancy cocktails, and by the end of it, you just want cheap drinks that just get you
Yeah,
hammered.
if you would say, right, I'm gonna have 12 pints tonight or roundabout, if you
Yeah,
do a pint a bar, you've been in
yeah,
12 spots. You're
yeah.
telling me out 12 spots, what they've all been shit.
No, exactly.
Then you've
Yeah,
just been
you
an
obviously
absolute
wrong
idiot.
city.
You've
Yeah,
walked in the absolute stupidest
yeah,
spot.
yeah. This is
Because
tough.
you're gonna stumble in a couple,
No,
and worst
100%.
comes to worst in England is always the spoons.
Yeah, of course.
The spoons is always
Can't
busy.
go wrong, can you?
Can't go wrong with the spoons on a Saturday night. It's gonna have some folk in it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
no,
But
100%.
going back to when I was in Italy, traveling wise, it's like I was fortunate enough that England were playing in the Euros.
Yeah,
And what me and my dad in Prague went to an Irish bar every night. So what I did was every time I just Googled Irish bars or sports
right.
bars, and usually when England were playing or just footy, all the English flock to there, or the Irish or the Scottish. You all speak the same language
Yeah,
fluently.
yeah,
So you end up, and it's full of Americans as well, by the way.
yeah.
So you end up cracking with people who
So
speak
is
the same
Ireland
language.
in general. So.
However, this is a complete another point. Americans, right? This is what I was saying to folk. You hear the American accent in movies, TV shows, songs,
Yeah.
interviews, TV. How many times in real life have you heard the American accent? How many times have you heard the American accent? We walked through Carlisle today and said, "Was he American?"
Yeah.
How many times have you heard an American accent in real life?
I couldn't count on one hand, I think.
Yeah, I think I maybe count a
Yeah.
few on my that
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. I think it's becoming more and more popular, isn't it? Especially we obviously live close to the Lake District, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I've got family who live in America, and even when they come back, got cousins, and weirdly, it is weird. That's what I mean. That all of a sudden, we live in England, but it is weird. Like they started coming out with stuff. I think they even said like trash and stuff. I was like, oh, but
It's not now, is it? But
no, of
they're
course,
so fascinated with the English accent. That is the
oh
biggest thing
no,
I learned with Americans. It is literally a cheat code for anything because
oh yeah,
they're absolutely
oh
fascinated
100%.
with him. It's the weirdest thing. It's like they've never heard an English person before. But to us, we're also it's like we've never heard an American accent before.
Yeah, it's not. But also, I was gonna touch on it. It's quite funny. It's like much as if you were Northern, you were just like proper stereotypical. It's like, oh, I drink tea and coffee. It's
Oh
quite
no,
funny.
if you're a
It is,
proper like
yeah.
like
Like it's not
crumpets
often.
and the lot.
I'm a Cumbrian. You go over and like, wow, oh my word, oh my goodness, you're English.
Yeah,
I was
'cause
like,
it's
yeah.
a thick
I'm like,
accent. Me and two lads from down south. 'Cause I'd met two lads from down south who were also traveling. They were in my hostel and we were out in a bar, and all these Americans came over, the lads, lasses, and that. And we were trying to explain to them how in England the different accents where you go.
yeah,
If you go to the northeast, you're Geordie or you're Mackham.
yeah.
You go up northwest, it's Cumbrian. If you go down south, it's Essex. There's London. There's do you know what I mean? It's
It's
like the Cornwall, posh
Portsmouth, yeah,
Cornwall, yeah, posh, like the different accents, Midlands, Manny,
yeah,
Scouse, like they
Brummie,
could not
yeah,
understand it for the life of them.
yeah. I think we maybe even touched on it in one of the other episodes before. It is weird, but then equally, I don't know how many UKs can fit in. How many UKs fit in America? But it's a few,
A
and
lot.
also, yeah, and also how I don't have no idea how big it is. I can't fathom how big it is. Like obviously, I said to you about maybe going to America in April, lucky enough to be invited out there and got family who live there. But like, it was like when I said, oh, well, what I'll do is I'll go there and I'll go and visit them up there. It's like, oh yeah, well, it will be a 6-hour flight, mate. I'm like, oh right, yeah. So you will be going back to LAX and you will be flying from there. I'm like, oh right, yeah. It's like it just the accents there are probably exactly the same, but it's just stretched over
Yeah.
such a massive. Like Texas isn't the same as Illinois, is it? So
No,
yeah.
it's not. No, yeah, and it's like it's a completely different world, isn't it? It's
Oh,
like there's
it's well,
country and
yeah,
then there's like
yeah, and then there's like
north and
the deep
south,
south,
deep
and
south, and there's
oh,
like all sorts of different places, and you only see what you see on the internet, don't you?
yeah, quite literally. But aye, no, it's been a good one, I think. Just,
Bit of a travelling one. It's been
with
oh,
a
it's been
heart,
a good crack, actually, to be fair.
no, it has. And we've got a couple of more things planned, haven't we?
I
Well,
some big things
hopefully,
coming. Well,
yeah,
new year, new everything. There's not exactly a goal. Just sky's the limit, I think, as it was when
yeah,
we started.
absolutely. As always, guys, all the Instagram socials and stuff will be in the
In the descriptions, as
yeah,
always. So make sure you check them out. We'll be definitely getting more active now. We're into the new year. I know we had a bit of a break. I think last episode was just before Christmas, so we do apologise on that. We've just been, unfortunately, we're not lucky enough to be doing this full time.
no,
So well, you had family come over. I had family plans. You get
yeah.
other things. You go away and
We've
stuff
made
like
up,
that.
yeah,
So
we've made up for it though. We've obviously had Liam on, who will have already been on, um, and a couple of big names coming as well,
yeah,
which
a
is
couple
good.
of episodes, a couple of big names, a couple of different venues. So we'll catch you in the next one, guys. Cheers.
So.